Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be doing a review slash overview of this series called Decorum. This is the hardcover. It collects the whole series. It's written by Jonathan Hickman, and the artwork here is by Mike Huddleston. Now, in the description down below, I'm gonna show the cover price, page count, and so forth. Now, let's show off the cover real quick. The back cover. And here is the whole book, the front cover, spine, and back cover, so you can get a rough idea how it looks. Now let's check out some of the extras. Alright, so here it says, Womanly Art of Empire. So this is our main character, the one you saw on the cover. It says covers. And one thing I don't like about Hickman's books, his collected editions, meaning his hardcovers and stuff like that, is that usually before issue 1, I like to see the cover to issue 1. Then show me issue 1. Once I read it, I like to see the cover to issue 2. Then show me issue 2. Hickman does not do that. He shows you all the covers at the end, like a cover gallery, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I would like to see the covers in order as I'm reading the book. That's just me. That's personal preference. It's a little nitpicking there, but yeah, that's to be expected with every Hickman book. So here's one of the covers. I mean, look at this artwork. I really like how, for example, here you have the artwork and you see this character. They have a thick white outline across the whole character. It gives it like this cel-shaded feel to it, but the art is not as simplistic as a cel-shading coloring. It looks a lot different, almost like it's painted with mixed with markers as well, right? So yeah, it's very interesting. These are two of the main characters. She's basically like the apprentice, and this is her mentor, if you will. Here's another cover. Now look at the color scheme here compared to the previous page. That's what you're gonna get in the interior art. It's you would buy this book for the art because it's very creative. One page can be completely different from the next. Here's very minimalistic as far as colors. You got black, white, and red, almost like that Sin City vibe. Now this looks almost like kind of abstract type of art, right? Mixed with like maybe like a new age. So look here. You have this egg. This egg is meant to they think that from this egg the next Messiah is gonna be born, right? Like it doesn't really have religious tones, but it felt like that's what they were kind of trying to go for, but they didn't really, it never really came off that way to me, but it did feel like that's what they wanted to do with this story. So yeah, here you see one person here, one over here, one over here. Now these three people are trying to stop the next Messiah from being born. So they're kind of almost like mechanical robots or God AI, they call them in this book. So there you could almost say the villains. Look at this skull here, it looks pretty crazy. Now here it looks like a lot more traditional art. It looks like in the Wild West. So you could get a feel for this town. Look at the weird animals here. This reminded me of that cantina scene in Star Wars when they're outside before they go into the cantina. Cantina meaning bar. So yeah, this reminded me a lot of that. This man, look at this. This looks awesome. I really like what they did here. Let's really zoom in here so you could really appreciate what's going on. You got these characters back here. The same guy is the God AI. And you got these diamonds. Now, when you read the story, you'll know what this means. These diamonds is something they use to kind of, when this egg is hatching to birth the next Messiah, they use these to kind of clog up that egg so that it's not born, so that it doesn't come out from that space that's open where the egg's cracking from. So yeah, you got them here. And again, it looks very abstract and sci-fi right here. The planet. Now we go to this side. You see our main character here sitting down on her iPod and whatnot. She's like a younger character, as you could tell, with her earphones and all that, and the way she's dressed. And the older character back here. Real nice. I really like this art piece right here. Another one. Now here, you see it's like samurais and maybe like Japan or China back in the days. Look, they're burning down villages. This looks very gritty, almost like a Conan type of feel to me right here, with the art style and even like the times, right? With swords and horses. Now here, this one looks more like Africa to me. This almost felt like they were trying to do a gorilla, Then at the end, because look at the body, doesn't that feel like a build of a gorilla? Then they change that face into a hippo instead. You have one of our also, she became kind of a main character in the second half of the book. We get introduced to her, and she definitely was a big player once she was introduced. So yeah, just the landscapes. I mean, look at this, the desert and stuff. It almost feels like Africa to me right here. So right away, what this means, you saw Japan, saw Africa. It's like every country at its beginning, right? Because that's gonna play an interesting part in the story. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll talk a little bit about it as we flip through the interior art right now. I don't want to show the rest of the covers and so forth, so that you could see them for yourself if you decide to buy the book. Okay, now let's show off right here. You see the binding lays pretty flat. You see right there the sewing. Zoom in a little if you could see that. See, it's sewn binding, looks real nice. Look at this. You want the book to lay flat, and look at this, how flat it is. This is what you want. The flatter, the better. That way, the flatter it is, the less space you get in here. The less you get gutter loss here, the better, right? And look at the hole over here. It looks perfect as you want it to be. So as far as the physical build, there is no problems with this book whatsoever. All right, let's start off right here. You get a lot of these 2-page spreads. One thing that kind of tripped me out when you get these 2-page spreads, they're never a full page. You get like blank spots either on the bottom or on the top, which I don't know why they didn't commit to just doing the art to the whole page, right? So look at here. You got a planet here. You got this diamond. This diamond's going to be important because this diamond is what releases this egg that we think holds the next Messiah. So the artwork here is phenomenal. Now here it shows you maps and so forth, the world building. Okay, now look at here when the story starts. Look at the art. Here it's just very, just a few colors, traditional pencils and so forth. Then when we get to this side, you got a lot more colors, right? This is our main character. She's like a delivery girl in space. And they got her delivering like dangerous missions and so forth. And this is her boss, kind of a shady character. Almost like a drug smuggler, but we don't know what she's always smuggling. It's always different things. Okay, in this part, here's that egg they keep talking about. We see the egg, and you have these characters here, which are the God AI. Now, I wasn't sure how this part got here, this little diamond. But what I do know is once she holds it right here, it starts flying, right? And look at what the diamond does. That diamond, you see it flying? Bam, it hits the egg. So you see the egg bleeding. Once the egg is bleeding, I really like the art here. It's like I said, it's pretty trippy, kind of out there. And look at here again. We get this other planet over here. I'm not sure what happened here, but you see this plane shooting something over here and it's hitting the planet. Okay, now when our main character meets this lady, she's introducing herself to her and she's telling her, I think you got what it takes for this mission. So she's trying to turn her into an assassin. She introduced her to this school of all women assassins, all kinds of different aliens that are all female, right? So that was, I like what they did there because it never was heavy handed with it. It never was like, it's kind of has that girl power feel, but it never was in your face. So that was cool. It was done very smoothly. For those of you that, don't like that and complain that it's too much, it's too forced, you don't get that here. I think Hickman's pretty good at that stuff by sending you little subliminal messages or metaphors without like throwing them in your face. It's up to the reader to see them. So yeah, that's no different here. And then look at here when they go into this little tunnel, the way that it's black and white, it looks all trippy to me right here. If you read this digitally, when it zooms in on each panel, this looks real crazy. You get two totally different experiences when you read this digitally and on the book. And to me, both are really good experiences, yet a lot different. Not like in other books where you just can't read it digitally. It has to be the physical, the full pages, right? Because it just doesn't feel the same. And some are the opposite. They look really good digitally, a lot better than they do physically. With this book, because of the way the art is, some pages really flourish on guide view from panel to panel on digital mode, and some really flourish when you have the whole book. So this is almost something you could read twice, right? Like you could read it once digitally and one's on the physical copy, and you get like two completely different feels, but both very satisfying. Now look at here, they got these fish flying around in the air because we're in space. Things don't make sense, right? I also like this page. You got this horse upside down. I don't get if that's the floor, just a reflection, or what's going on here. But it's very crazy the way everything's done in this world, right? It's kind of trippy. Look at here, once they're walking out of this tunnel. I mean, this looks, and they got this statue here. This looks awesome. I really like this page. They really got off on it right here. The artist, I think, did the heavy lifting in this story. I think that's what really kept me personally engaged in the story the whole time, because the story is just her learning to be an assassin. And then at the end, she's finally sent on this mission to capture this egg and murder what comes out of it, right? Because this AI god is threatened by it, and we think this AI god is a good guy, saying, "Go kill this thing because if it's born, it's a really bad thing. What's gonna be come out of that egg, right? So murder it for me." And I really don't want to give more away. I kind of want to talk about it, but I don't, because I want you to see what happens once she finds this egg, and everything that comes along with it after, right? That's something I think it's better if you read it yourself. I don't want to ruin the story, basically. Here's another cool little silhouette. These are a lot of the other women assassins. So yeah, I'm not gonna tell you more about the story. Do I recommend it? Yeah, it's worth the read. Like I said, it's kind of a slow build up. The world building is interesting. Not a lot happens. A lot of talking and character development. No real action till like the second half of the book, and then it starts picking up. And once it picks up, it completely changes in tone. It becomes less serious, and kind of becomes a little more comedic and more fast paced. So they're two completely different approaches, almost like if it was two different writers, right? So yeah, I felt the build up, it maybe dragged on a little longer than it should have. So then it felt like a nice fresh change of pace when we finally things picked up, and things started we started getting things moving, right? So do I recommend this book? Yeah, it's a nice read. I thought it was interesting, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Me personally, if it did not have this very interesting art that's all over the place from page to page, it completely changes. If I did not have this art, I probably would not enjoy the story as much. I feel like it's a story I've kind of seen before a few times, and here it just drags out longer than it needed to be, right? Other than that, if you guys have read this book before, let me know in the comment sections what you thought about it. And if you like this video, hopefully you hit that like button. It helps out the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way, I'll notify you on your feed every time a new video drops. Other than that, I just like to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to check this video out. I really do appreciate it. And I'll check you guys out next time.